Hey guys, welcome to Darrell Intense. Today I want to show you the gear that I'm taking for my big river trip on the pontoon rafts that we spent all winter building. If you haven't had a chance to see those videos, you can see the build. You can also see the test launch that we did a month ago. But we're leaving tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning. We're meeting up at the river, the whole crew and our spouses, and we're going to launch these bad boys first thing in the morning. And my plan is at the end of each day, beginning tomorrow night, I'll give you a daily recap video. So that's the plan. If you're not a subscriber, now's a great time to do that. Just subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell right next to the subscribe button on the main Darrell Intense page. And then every time that I post one of these or any videos, you'll be notified with a push notification or in your email, however you have that set up. And a subscription's free. It costs you nothing. So if you want to see the daily recaps or any other video that I post, just click the subscription button as well as the notification bell right next to it. Okay? Feel free to thumbs up. Thumbs up is better than thumbs down, but thumbs up if you like this video or this kind of video. Feel free to put in the comments any suggestions or observations that you have about the gear that I'm using. And also, if you want to share the video with any of your friends, you're welcome to do that. But I'm going to go through all of the gear that I'm taking on the river in this video. That's the plan. So for starters, let me just say I'm going to be taking all of my gear, my personal belongings that I'm taking on this trip, in this Bob dry bag. Now this was a part of a bicycle trailer that I bought years ago when I was doing a bike packing trip. I've used it several times since, and it works out great because it is a great big bag that is open on the top, and so it's very easily accessible, certainly much simpler than a backpack. So this is going to be great for this kind of a trip. And then it rolls up on itself and can be secured on top and on each side. So it's a dry bag. It works very well. I've used it in the rain, and I've used it on some canoe trips in the past, and so glad that I have it. It's a great bag for this purpose. So there are a number of items as we get started. There are a number of items that are not going to go into this bag because I'm not going to store them away. All right, they won't just stow away in a compartment. But they'll have some usage in some other areas. And so for starters, let me just say my air mattress for my cot tent, all right, is an item that will also serve when we're not paddling. It'll serve as a great rest place to lean up against rather than the hard rails on the side of the pontoon. Guys laid up against this on our test launch, and you can see that video. And it really worked out very well. So this is a 4-inch self-inflating mattress that is inside of my David Ellis Rocky Mountain Swag. Great item, two great items, and they work out. They work terrific. So I'll use this whole thing once my cot is up every night, and I'll unroll it and I'll put it up on my tent as my air mattress. Okay, self-inflated, so that will not stow away. That's in the Bob bag. That's just an item that I'm going to use. Okay. In addition to that, obviously, I've got a sleeping bag. I'm taking my Wiggies bag, and not the whole sleep system, but just the internal mattress. So that will not stow away or go in this Bob bag. Another item that will not stow away in the Bob bag is my tent. And I'm taking, as you saw on the launch, and as I've used a couple of other times, my Ozark Trail one-man cot tent. One-man cot tent. It's a fantastic item, and I love it, and it's really in a pinch. It's my go-to setup. I've got a number of tents. I've got Big Agnes. I've got Canvas Camp. I've got a number of different kinds of tents for different applications, but this is just a very convenient and easily accessed item. So I absolutely love that. But that being said, I'm taking the Ozark Trail cot tent, and it will not stow away. And I can put that thing up in like 41 seconds. It goes up, I'm done in 41 seconds. And so I really like that feature about that tent. This is the item that I'm going to carry all the lunch items in. Every lunch we'll handle our own lunch by boat. And so I'm going to be making lunch every day for myself and for anybody on our raft that wants it. more on that when we get to every day, and I'm excited about that. Cooking up lunch on the backpacking stove and different menu, different items for every day. But all of the components necessary to make those lunches for our boat, I'll keep in here. Also, not stowed away. Okay. Let me tell you another item not stowed away is this orange box. This is a dry box, and I will keep. I'll keep a number of things in here that are as much about our group as anything. This is a phone charger. It has 2 USB ports on it, and this will charge an iPhone, my iPhone, like 9 times. 9 times. And so I'll be able to charge my iPhone and anybody else's iPhone. You say, you're going on a vacation trip, why are you taking an iPhone? Because we're on the river, and all of my navigation maps for the river are in sync with my GPS that are all a part of my phone. So to be able to charge my phone on a daily basis is going to be good for the purpose of being able to know where we are and how much further every day. And as I use this power up, either for myself, I'm not going to burn it up myself 9 times, and I'm on a 6-day trip. But if other guys on the boat want to use this as well, then one cool component, if I can find it, is my Anchor solar panel. I've used this a couple of times before, and it works out great. If there's any sun at all on this trip, this will catch it, and this will plug directly into this charger. And just using what sun we may have to replenish the battery charger, it's pretty easy to do. And I just hooked this on the back of the boat, and should work out pretty well. In addition to that, every boat has got walkie-talkies. And so these batteries are also USB rechargeable, and we can recharge those from this as well. You saw on my launch video my marine radio, so that I can talk to the other watercraft, not recreationally, but for the purpose of knowing where other barges are. So every so often, just to be able to shout out and see if anybody is hearing me, and if they are barges, what mile marker are they at? Because we are an inferior vessel to a Missouri River barge. And so for us to be aware of where they are so that we can get out of their way becomes not a luxury item, but a necessary item. And so the marine radio will enable us to do that. In addition to that, two other things that I keep in here. One of the things I keep in here is a larger 12-volt battery. Okay, you say, well, why on earth do you need a larger 12-volt battery? Because also in this bag, I am carrying for this trip the WeBoost cell booster. The model is the Reach Drive, and it's perfect for the car, it's perfect for this boat, it's perfect for an RV, and it will boost my cell signal 32 times, and it runs off 12-volt, a cigarette lighter, and I can plug that in to that, so that 5 or 10 minutes or so every night, my phone will have cell coverage so that I can upload videos from my GoPro. That's kind of an important component. And with that other charger, or with that other battery, I should be able to keep my GoPro batteries charged as well, so that I'm recording all day and then uploading video to YouTube every night. Okay, so once again, YouTubing every night. So if you want to see the daily recap, just subscribe, get a free subscription to the channel, and and if you click the notification bell, I'll let you know. You'll be notified every single time that I post a new video. Okay, so I think for the most part, those are the items that will not be stowed. One other item here that won't be stowed is my water filtration system. Now, we're taking potable water for a couple of different reasons, but that was pretty much the consensus of the group. The guys wanted not to take Missouri River water, but to have potable water. So that's what we're doing. No big deal. And in doing that, I can take water 4 liters at a time. And not knowing what these barrels were used for, I can filter 4 liters at a time into this, and it's all gravity fed. And it's I've used this a number of times on backpacking trips with groups, and it's a great item. Fill 4 liters here, and gravity takes it through the filtration system into the clean bag, and there's not a possibility of what if it goes the wrong way. It doesn't work that way. This bag will not open up from the outside. There's no way to get dirt. You're not going to mix it up, okay? And so that being said, once the water has been purified, right, this surgical tubing with the surgical tubing clamp on it, this can be hung from anywhere, and you've got water, 4 liters of water, ready to go into a pot, ready to go into a mug, ready to go wherever you need it. So it's a great item that again, I'm not putting in the bob bag, because as soon as we get to the river and get to the boats, I'll attach this to the water bottle, okay, to the water barrel. So that's the way that works. I'll fold this up and roll it up after we shut off the video. Let me get to another item. All right. So now let's talk about everything that's inside the bob bag, the gear that I'm taking inside the bob bag. One other thing, let me tell you about how are we going to relieve ourselves on the river when we have multiple hours, multiple days on the river. Well, it's 9 guys on 3 rafts, 3 three-man vessels, right? So if we are if a guy needs to, number one, not necessarily complicated at all. I'm sure we'll be able to figure that one out if the issue is a number 1. If the issue is a number 2, a little more complicated when you're on a vessel. So tomorrow when we get to the boat, I'm sure I'm going to show you the shower curtain system that we have devised that is portable. It can go up and down as needed. And then inside the shower curtain, right, is our 5-gallon bucket, right? And so the 5-gallon bucket is not just any 5-gallon bucket. It is a hazardous material, waterproof, airtight 5-gallon bucket. And so what we've done is about 2/3 of this bucket is actually filled with kitty litter. Okay, so what we'll do is, should a guy on the crew need to use this 5-gallon bucket, he will reach in and take a couple of scoops of kitty litter and put it into this 8-gallon trash bag that then folds over the top, and the 2 scoops of kitty litter for the purpose of absorbing smell, absorbing stuff, absorbing. The guy will then set on the 5-gallon bucket and do his business, and when he's done, he takes his trash bag and he ties it off and puts it into the black trash bag that's inside the bucket. Okay? So that the used white trash bag goes into the one single black trash bag that's in the bucket. And as many times as this bucket needs to be used during the course of the day, the used bags are nicely held in the black bags, and we simply add to that. And then when we reach land every day and we're getting off and we find access to a trash container, then we simply grab the one single black bag for the day and discard it, and everything else is ready to go. And in the container are a number of white bags. Okay, so that's the plan. And by the way, once the white bag goes in the black bag goes back into the container, and the airtight seal goes back on, and voila, you've got to love technology in this day and age. So that's the plan that you were wondering, what on earth are they going to do? That's what we're going to do, and that's how the whole thing works out. Okay, so let me tell you, whether I'm backpacking or on this trip specifically, right? I don't just put my socks and my underwear and my headlamp and my lantern and my ibuprofen and everything in the bag, because then I'm continually trying to pilfer through and find my stuff. What I do is I organize it just a little bit better than that by categories. So for example, when I need toilet paper or hand sanitizer or toothpaste or a toothbrush or soap to jump in the river and wash up, or to clean my clothes, right? All of that is in my personal hygiene item, and I go green. That's what I do. And so it's all in this container, in this water bag. Okay, it's a dry bag made to repel and resist water, and I can hook it on a tree, on a post, anywhere on the boat, and I know where it is, and that's where it is. And so when it's in my backpack or in my bob bag, I'm just, if I need personal hygiene stuff, I'm just grabbing the green bag. My gray bag is where I keep anything that I would consider electronics that's personal gear. Okay, so my Goal Zero lantern, my headlamp, the charge cords for that, anything that is power, electrical, personal gear, it's always going to be in the gray bag. So, oh my gosh, where's my headlamp in the middle of the night? I know it's in my gray bag. The orange bag is all first aid and survival stuff. Okay, so if I need Band-Aids, or I need ibuprofen, or any kind of first aid or survival for me, for the guys on the raft, or for any of the guys in our group, I'm not pilfering through my socks and underwear and pants in my bob bag. I'm just looking for my orange first aid bag, and that's always where it is. Okay, and then lastly is my camp kitchen. And this is my camp kitchen, and I will tell you, on this trip, if I were ultra light backpacking, I would not take many of the items that are in this, or going in that, or going anywhere on the boat. But I'm not ultra light backpacking on this trip. It's kind of a hybrid between a glamping luxury and ultralight, and somewhere in the middle is the gear that I'm using for this event. Right? It's a boat. I'm not carrying all my gear on my back, so I want to have what I want to. I want to have my cot chair with a back on it while I'm manning the rudder on the boat. So there are a number of items in my camp kitchen that I'm taking for this trip. But if it has anything at all to do with cooking or eating, then it's all in this teal bag. And so again, all I'm looking for when it comes mealtime is my teal bag. Now, I'm not taking the time in this video to show you all of the things that are in each one of those components. The 4 bags that I carry, the green bag, the gray bag, the orange bag, and the teal bag, could all be a separate video for another time, and I'll probably do that when I actually have time to take everything out and explain why, my justification for why that's an item that I'm taking. The last thing that will go in the bag will be my clothes bag. Okay, so I don't get crazy on any of the trips that I take, whether it's backpacking or hiking, or whether it's bike packing, or car camping, or glamping, or river camping. I don't get excited about taking a change of clothes for every day. I'm not scoping for dates. I'm happily married, but I do want to be relatively clean every other day. I'm going to change my pants and my shirt on the outside into the same clothes every other day. And the only reason I'm taking 2 sets of pants and 2 pairs of outside shirts and 2 fleece jackets is because they're anticipating rain every single day, and I would like every single day to at least start the day putting on something dry. So ordinarily, if I were backpacking, I would take 1 pair of pants and I would take 1 shirt, and that will last me a week. Because the stuff that's up next to my skin, my underwear and a dry wicking t-shirt, I'll take 2 pairs of underwear, 2 pairs of socks, and 2 dry wicking t-shirts, because those things are right up next to my skin and will absorb sweat and smell, and those things I can wash out every other day. I can take them off, put the new on after I bathe in the river or wherever, and then put clean stuff on that's right up next to my skin, and then in that same moment wash out my underwear and my shirt and my socks, my t-shirt and my socks, so that it has a chance to dry before I'm going to put it on in 24 hours and take this stuff off. So that's kind of the way that works. But for this trip, I am taking 2 sets of outside wear, and that's because I would just kind of like to start the day dry. when I start the morning. And underneath the canopy, I'm hopeful that even if it does rain every day like they're anticipating, I'll have stuff that can dry through the course of the day. So that's my plan for that. And so when the pants that I will take are both these Columbia pants that have zip off pant legs, so that if we get some nice weather and I want to wear shorts, I'm not bringing pants and shorts. I'm just bringing a pair of pants that can be either one. This is also a great dry wicking material, and it also dries very quickly. What I like about this bag is that because it's see-through, I can actually see what I'm looking for. This was a gift from my son-in-law's years ago, and it's a 35-liter bag, and so it's perfect for my clothes. In addition to a dry wicking t-shirt that I told you about, and my ex officio dry wick underwear that I will take for this trip, and a long-sleeved fishing shirt from Habit Outdoors that I'll take on this trip, and a fleece that I'll take on this trip. Now, I'm taking 2 of every one of those items, all right? I'm only putting 1 in this container, and the reason is because tomorrow when I go to the river, I'll put the other stuff on. So I'll be wearing it when we get to the river. And again, this is another dry bag so that it just works out really well to be able to repel water. You know, a lot of times when I'm backpacking or on this kind of a water trip, when it starts raining and you're carrying your backpack and all your gear is in your backpack, you've been on those trips when people are going crazy. Oh my gosh, I need to get my backpack cover. It's raining. Where's my rain cover? It's in my bag somewhere. I need to find it. I'm really never too concerned about that because everything that's in my backpack is in a Sea to Summit watertight, dry, already protected, and so I'm not panicked or too concerned because the stuff that's in the bag. And so it is with this trip. I'm just looking on the trip for whatever bag that I need to find. If I'm looking for my clothes, I know which bag. Camp kitchen, I know which bag. Personal hygiene, I know which bag. Electronics and first aid, and it's all right there. And that works out. That's going to work out pretty well. So those are the items that are going to be outside of the bag. These are the items inside the bag. I'll be wearing river shoes every day because we're on the river. And then I'll also take a pair of Crocs. And that's only because if, in fact, there is sun that comes up and my feet get sunburned, this is a little more protective coating. And obviously, they're watertight. It's not that they're a fashion statement, they're just very lightweight, and so even for backpacking, once you get to a campsite and you take your boots off, Crocs are pretty good. If you're forging a stream on a backpacking trip, you can take your boots off and put your Crocs on. So I keep these around, and I'll certainly be taking them as an extra pair of shoes to wear on this trip. That being said, with my heels exposed, it's not uncommon that you begin to chafe on the back of your feet, and so both with the river shoes and the Crocs, I keep an ample supply of Udder Butter or some other sort of balm that can keep my heels from cracking. So that's the plan there. Another couple of personal items I'll tell you about. This is a Stanley mug. And it's insulated, and that's great. But I'll tell you why this is a great mug for this trip. And I didn't have one, even when we did our test launch, I didn't have this mug. But I got it when Kelly, one of my crewmates, had one, and he was one of the designers of the boats that we built. This will fit over the side rail of the raft, whether I'm sitting in a row seat, an oarsman, or the rudder guy. Wherever I am, we don't need drink holders with these mugs, and so it really is going to work out pretty sweet. And then obviously we'll start each morning, every guy with his own thermos full of coffee. Coffee good. I've got my well. Let me tell you one other thing, and really, I'd kind of like your counsel on this. So I got the Onyx, what is it? The Onyx Move NT. The Onyx Move NT kayaking life preserver. Some guys are going with the the ones that expand when you get in the water. That's a great idea. I wasn't sure how that's going to work with rain, and so I didn't go that way. I mean, it's a very low profile. They're great. But one of the guys on our trip, one of the guys on the crew is in fact a kayaker, and he recommended to me this brand and this specific model. And so I ordered it up and I got it, and it's especially around the arms and the shoulders, whether you're rowing, whether I'm running the rudder, it ought to be pretty comfortable. Not the most low profile life preserver that's available, but I think it's going to work out great. And so that's what I went with. But here's my question. I've never mounted a GoPro to this, and I'm guessing this would be the place to do it, as opposed to wearing the harness. Or should I just buckle down and go with the harness? Any thoughts on that? If you've got you folks with GoPros that are kayakers, I'd be curious to know how you do it. Is this the way to go? Is there a better way to go? Should it go on whatever hat? Obviously, with a pontoon, I'm not wearing a helmet. But just curious your thoughts there. Just put it in the comments and give me some counsel on what you think is the best way to go. So yeah, so the life preserver will be a part of the trip as well. And then finally, because this is because I'm not carrying all of this on my back, right? This is a great rain jacket. If I were backpacking, I would not take this because it is pretty heavy. It's got a fleece on the inside, and it's great water resistant on the outside with a hood as well. And so I really like this. I like this rain jacket. A couple of caps I'm wearing is my power cap with the Fish and Wildlife Service old logo. A buddy of mine, retired Fish and Wildlife guy, gave me. I love these power caps because they just make it pretty convenient and pretty easy to look for whatever it is I'm looking for without fighting for my headlamp that I would have for the entire evening. But if I just need something immediately, I love these power caps. They make it very easy. Or my outdoor adventure cap hat that ought to help with either sun or rain, just with the wider brim. On the last trip that I took, where I was kayaking and canoeing, and I lost a hat just like this. That was when I decided to put a strap on this one so that I don't lose it. So there you go. Couple of different hats, and yeah. So let me tell you, if you're not a subscriber, I would love for you to be a subscriber. You can click the subscribe button. It's a free subscription. And if you click the notification bell right next to the subscribe button, then every time that I go on one of these adventures, including I'm planning beginning tomorrow night at the end of the day to post a daily recap every day, the 6 days that we're on the river. If you want to get those, click the notification bell. And as soon as I post it, you'll be able to access it and be able to see it. And then you can also like the channel, click the blue thumbs up button. That would be great. Or if you want to share this with a friend, that's always helpful as well. That's my gear. I'm like a kid on Christmas Eve. I can't wait for tomorrow morning. Hope you'll join me. Thanks for watching. God bless.